What's your problem? Lead generation or lead conversion?
This is your first day in real estate, and I am your real estate sales trainer and coach, James Festini. And this is the program that's going to teach you how to sell more real estate in less time.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you for watching my program. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button on YouTube if you want to listen to me, listen to these episodes. Go to iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker Radio. If you want to get on the live stream, everything, just find me, okay? Also, I've opened up the room for the Beast Mode Lead Gen Prospecting Challenge, 100 leads in 100 days. You join me live, you get the archives, you get my door knocking course, you get my CRM course, you get a lot. 100 leads in 100 days guaranteed. Where are you going to get that? So where are we today? In today's topic, I want to talk about lead generation or lead conversion. What is your problem? I was listening to a podcast as I was door knocking today, and someone said, and I've heard it before, they say something along the lines of, getting leads is easy. Your problem is lead conversion. And I had to wonder, for who is getting leads easy? And then he was like, blah, 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 blah. And he spit out the part where he mentioned, for $1,000, you can get your real estate license for $1,000, and then you can spend $1,000 to generate leads. All of a sudden you got them. Like, boop, backpedal. Spending $1,000 on leads. Wow, must be nice to have $1,000 to throw into an unpredictable scenario. Now, yes, you probably could spend $1,000. I'm trying to think that $1,000. Where would it go? Obvious answer, Zillow. So you give Zillow $1,000, and then you start generating some names and numbers. One of the names and numbers will be probably screw you at yahoo.com, fu@gmail.com. My number is 976. Go for a good time. Basically, I'm not very hyped up on the leads, and maybe 1, 2 out of 10 actually give you a name and number. Let's just be generous. 7 out of 10 give you a name and a number. And then you pick up the phone within 5-10 seconds and you say, hey, this is Agent with Company. I noticed that you're looking at properties on. Can I tell you a secret? Whatever technique you've seen in the past where it's like get their attention, get their information, and convert them into a lead. But 9 out of 10 of those leads are going to be garbage, right? They're going to be looky-loos tire kickers, just looking at my ex-wife's house, just wondering what my ex-husband's house is worth, stuff like that. You get them. I did an analysis, and then I had to Google after the analysis to figure out how much does a lead cost online. And the average name and number is $80. $80 is the number, and you can find this online. What is the cost of an internet lead? It's about $80. So yes, you can generate leads on the internet. You pay enough money, you generate the lead, and you can get $1,000. $12,000 a year, you can get it. But will $1,000 guarantee you a listing lead? Because really, if you're watching my program, you're not out there to go find buyers. I mean, they'll come to you when you get listings, but I don't spend a nickel on buyers. I don't make any attempt to generate buyers on the internet or in my door knocking. You'll see me sometimes, I'll even get someone who goes, I'll be cold calling, I'll say, hey, this Agent with Company, I was just calling to see, no, but we're looking to buy. I'm like, all right, well, thank you very much, have a nice day. Is that bad or what? Most people are like, what? Sometimes, depending, I'll be like, so what are you looking for? Well, we're looking for blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, interesting. Have you talked to a lender? No, we're just starting out. All right, well, would it be all right? And I'll put that together, and I'll send the lead over to a lender that I work with, and then maybe or maybe not, they will generate, a lead, and then maybe down the road something will happen. But it's such a long shot. It's like I just... Maybe because my energy and my enthusiasm towards generating buyers and working with buyers is so shut down because I've got, like I said, I've got this one-track mind, listings. I want a buyer. You know what kind of buyer I want? The one who walks in on my listing and buys my listing, okay? It's possible. So, conversion is easy. Generating leads is easy. What's your problem? My problem is quantity of leads to convert. The amount of leads that I think you have, that I personally think I have to have in order to get to where I want to go next year, 500 G's in my pocket, like go into a tax man and in the following year and say, hey man, here's my tax return, and then have a nice big nest egg, and then be able to invest in a few things, have a little bit of freedom. I mean, I'm working very hard for my freedom here, and it's possible, man. Next year, 2018, bring it. I'm so excited. But here's what I'm saying. The problem is not generating leads. The problem is not converting them, because you can convert them with the right scripts. I would recommend you read The Conversion Code, best book ever on converting leads. Generating leads. What would I recommend to generate leads? That's the problem. If the problem is not, see, some people say it's not a problem getting leads, but if you don't want to spend that kind of money, if you don't want to spend $80 a lead, and that's $80 just to get a name, a number, an email address. This is not $80 to get someone to invite you over to their house or to start opening doors. This is just $80 a lead to get a name and a number and an email address. I don't know what formula they used, but if I spent $1,000, which maybe I'll do it next month, just to do one more study and say, here, I've got the resources and the situation to say, January 1st, I'm going to do this, just throw it at Facebook, see what happens, and then I will mark down each one and I will tell you the conversion. I guarantee you it's going to be, here's what I'm looking for. What are you looking for? I'm looking for listings. Will people come in and say, I'm interested in selling my house? No. They'll probably say, I'm interested in buying a house. Then I say, are you interested in selling a house? And then they say, I don't have a house. And then, is this like this vicious loop of what do I want? What do you want? You want listings. You want homeowners to say that they are interested in selling their house, and you want them to have a bona fide name, number, email address, and you want to close them. Find the scripts, read the conversion code, and close the lead. That, to me, converting them is the easy part. If you have enough leads, and which came first, the chicken or the egg? The lead generation. Who has enough leads? Who has enough leads? And I think that's what that podcast was suggesting, that leads are easy. If you had enough leads, that would be a different story. Converting them would not be that hard if you have enough leads. The James Festini formula says that if you have enough leads, conversion is automatic. It's not that hard. Yeah, generate them. Generating them is harder. Generating a lot of them is harder. Now, generating them, 1, 2, 3 leads a month, you spend $1,000. That's hard too. I have a hard time parting with $1,000 into, and then just being like, please, right? It's like spending $1,000 on a diet program and then not losing any weight, which is highly possible when you do this. They were saying it's $1,000 on the podcast, but that's 1,000 educated and not misguided leads. Sources, right? So you go to something like Zillow, it's almost a turnkey solution. You give them your money, which you're in a rotation with a lot. I mean, I just don't know how. I'm so over Zillow. It's garbage. But let's say they put you in the rotation of agents, and then someone said, someone comes through. The generation of that lead, how many do you need? I say, I need 300 to 500 leads. Self-generated leads. Now, I'll be fair and say self-generated could be spend a bunch of money on the internet and they come in, you're generating them yourself. Not through telephone prospecting, not through door knocking, but it's through your attempt, right? They're not like, well, I guess that is the only way, right? Self-generated, let me rephrase that. Leads that you acquired through whatever method, I believe you need about 300 to 500. For me, I need about 300 to 500. That's a lot. How long will it take you? How long can you sustain that tipping point? Because when you go into the business and they say, let's say using this example, you spend $1,000 on generating a lead. You generate maybe 5 or 10 over the course of the month, but none of them close. You see, because I'm saying you need to have a lot more leads to think you're going to close them. I'm saying you probably need 100 leads to get one listing. right? You need about 100 leads to get one sale. That's just the way it is. Because if we're talking about over the course of time, that's a whole other animal. 100 leads over the course of 7 years, probably 90 out of those 100 will eventually do it, but you don't have several years. You want now money. That's why you came into this business. You want the quick money. You want to be able to work and get paid immediately. So if you spend $1,000 and you generate 100 leads, but none of them close, now you're not spending $1,000 to get a sale. You're spending the next month $2,000. And then maybe out of that, you might end up maybe with a listing, maybe with a buyer. Now you've spent $2,000, but now you got a 60-day escrow or process to close the transaction. Now you got next month. Now you're 90 days. Now you're not $3,000 out of your pocket before anything comes in. Are you feeling me now? How many leads have you generated? Let's say you spent $1,000 and you've generated I can't imagine that they give you for $1,000 you're not getting 100 leads. If you get 100 leads and they're internet leads, maybe 20 of them are like leads. So 20, 40, 60 over that 60 days, you've got 60 of them peppered over time. 60 of those leads are actually 55 of them are buyers. So now you got 55 buyers, which means and translates to you got 5 listing leads over 60, 90 days. $3,000 in my opinion for 5 listing leads. Is that worth it? No. Let's be generous. Let's say, James, you're crazy. Your math is all wrong. Fine. 50 seller leads, 100 seller leads in 30 days. Let's say you got like the miracle source where you can tap in and you got 100 people who say, I'm curious about the value of my house. Because they don't go on and say, I want to sell my house. It's always, I'm curious about the value of my house. Then the conversion. When do you want to sell your house? Well, maybe next year, maybe in 6 months, maybe in 3 months. So now you've got, with the blessings of like the real estate gods, Shazam, you've got like 100 of them, and they all say over the course of 1 year. Now you're still going back to how many do you need to get more than one sale? Right now we're talking $3,000, 100 leads. 2 of them turn into a sale. Congratulations. Let's double it. 4 of them turn into a sale. Congratulations. You have sold 4 houses in 3 months. Is that enough? Do you see how like the math just keeps saying, go ahead and spend the money on the leads. But don't think that that's your only source for generating leads. Go ahead and spend the time on telephone prospecting for leads. But don't think that that's the only source for generating leads. Please go ahead and spend time on door knocking for leads. But don't think that that's the only source for generating leads. They're all just this massive source. And here's another formula that people don't consider. And that is the curation, the incubation, the manipulation of this database. Because leads come, leads go. I'm saying for me it's 300 leads, 400 leads. Let's say I want 500 leads by the end of 2018 in a database. And what happens, and I've been talking about this lately, is that you have this tipping point where suddenly now your database, when you go into call, you pick up the phone, and now it's not, hey, this is agent, I was just calling to see if you had any interest in selling your house. No, it's, hi, this is agent with company. I was just calling to see if you were ready to sell your house. Well, actually we are. Great, I'd like to come out and take a look at it. Okay, appointment set. It's not that hard to close my leads because I've got so many that it's almost impossible. It's like, it's almost impossible to lose weight if there's no food around. It's almost impossible not to win a foot race when you're the only one running. It's almost impossible not to succeed with my formula if you've got hundreds of people who have said maybe. It's just not possible. Now, if you're calling a cold database, if you're pulling up a list of old expireds, right? Everyone's like, oh, the old expireds are the low-hanging fruit. If old expireds are the low-hanging fruit, then my lead source, my database, my listing source, my database that I've curated and cultivated and added to every day, 2 leads a day, 3 leads a day, every day for the past year and a half, 2 years, whatever amount of time, If the expireds and for sale by owners are the low-hanging fruit, then what the contents of my database are in fact the low-hanging fruit, and they are plucked and washed and sliced into pieces, where beautiful women serve it up to me on a platter as I sit poolside as they fan me and feed me those low-hanging fruits, massage my feet and say, yes, master. That's like the difference of my leads between your leads and the leads that you're generating on the internet. If I had to do this passive method for generating leads online, I would think it would probably take $10,000 minimum a month to sustain the inflow of leads, 2 leads a day, listing leads. Now, I'm curious, please do me a huge favor. Those of you who are spending money, can you do me this huge favor? Please, 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 please. This is important for everyone to see on this stream. At the bottom, I want you to put this thing. I want you to say what you spend and how many leads you get a day. Okay, you ready? Or let's just say a month. How much you spend and how many leads you generate on that source. Please, this is so important for every one of us. Please, can you do it for me? So type this. If you spend money on Zillow, say Zillow space $1,000 space 30, meaning I got 30 leads a month. Okay? Do that. Zillow space $1,000 space 30. And then if you want to elaborate a little bit more, you could say, out of those 30, one of them was a listing lead. I don't care about the conversions as much. I mean, everyone's going to have their stroke of luck. Everyone's going to have their waves where all of a sudden they'll get 3 or 4. But I want to know the average. I want to know how many leads you generate, how many bona fide names and numbers you're getting. But I guess if you do that, you're going to come to me and probably say Zillow $1,000 30. But then does that 30 translate to like 1 or 2, go F yourself at gmail.com leads? Yeah, let's just, see, because the leads you're getting are garbage. So it's not like you can tell me 30, because I know probably 15 of them are just like yank and chain leads, right? Or have they mastered the art of not giving you crappy leads, where if someone comes in and says screw you at yahoo.com, that you just don't get it. If that's the case, then all right, let's use this formula. Okay, please do me that favor. It would be great. It would be beneficial to the whole room to know who you pay, how much you pay, and how many names, numbers / email addresses you generate from that source. I'd be very curious to find out. I'm guessing the average is going to be $500, 10 leads. That's my guess, is that it's $500, that you spend $500 for 10 leads. Anyhow, lead conversion is not your problem. Lead generation is. Having enough leads to convert. Because if you have enough leads and you qualify them, conversion is not an issue. And back to that podcast, they're saying that the problem is because we're not following up, that we're not converting. But I beg to differ that if you're a follower and a listener of the Festini Mafia, and you're paying attention to what I have to tell you, and you're actually doing the follow-up, that the problem is not the follow-up. It's the quality of the leads that you're following up on, aka the lead generation and generating more leads. I'm convinced that every one of you should have a certain target, a tipping point, maybe 100 leads. Maybe it's 200, maybe it's 300. I'm finding right now at about 300, I'm picking up my phone and I'm calling through that list. I'm setting appointments and I'm getting listings. Man, January 2018, February 2018 is going to be really the testing grounds for this theory. Although I'm doing great with, I moved in 2016 to prove that my formula works, and I'm proving it. But man, it's just like I'm now in first, second, third gear. I am seriously now about to hit like maximum velocity, terminal velocity, and it's just going to be such such a straight line towards tons of business. Lots of happy, satisfied customers. They're going to be like, hooray, we praise James. And we send him leads. Because like I've told you before, this system isn't formulated for you to cold call for the rest of your life. I'm 45 years old. I can't see me door knocking at 50, but you know, I like the game. This is good, man. I went out and I had a great workout. Oh, and by the way, I generated leads. I was knocking $1 million neighborhoods. How many people can say they get $1,000 to go door knock? Yeah, do the math. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Muy importante, very important. Like, share, subscribe, go on there. And if you listen to a podcast, here's something else. I'm really making a push to be invited on podcasts. If you know of somewhere that you want me to speak at online, if you have a YouTube show that you like or someone who has guests, get me in there. I'll show up. I'm more than willing to talk about it. If you're in Southern California, you should probably approach your broker and say, hey guys, can we do a quick office meeting very soon? Let's pay Festini. Have him come out. I think for, I don't know, $1,000 I'll give you 5 hours of my time in front of a crowd. You get your office, Southern California, get your office, $1,000, I'll show up, hand me it in cash. I'll stand up on stage. I'll get your people back to work. And finally, what was my last thing? The Beast Mode Lead Gen Prospecting Challenge. 100 leads in 100 days. Can you do it? It is work. You are required to work very hard. You're required to knock on 100 doors. You are required to call 100 contacts a day. That's a lot of work. But let me tell you something. I think it was Edison who once said, opportunity is often confused because it wears overalls and it's described as hard work. Something to that effect. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Gonna go upstairs. Make sure you watch. If you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and you hit the little bell icon, you would know that in about 10 minutes, I'm live telephone prospecting. Get back to work.
This episode is brought to you by MojoSells.com. Expireds for sell by owners and prospecting solutions along with DNC compliance. It is my CRM of choice because I can set up emails and letters and follow-up campaigns to follow up more efficiently with the leads that I generate. Go to MojoSells.com and make sure you tell them Festini sent you. This episode is also brought to you by Spodio, the perfect door knock companion. Download the Spodio app today. You want more knowledge? Please find me anywhere you consume content. On YouTube, go to James Festini. If you want to listen to my content on iTunes, please leave me a 5-star review. Join the Festini Mafia at jamesfestini.com/training. There you'll find all of my products and information. If you like to make money, get back to work.